My next guest advising President Trump in his search for a Supreme Court justice. Joining us tonight, attorney Leonard, and it's great to have you with us. You're executive vice president as well, I should point out, of the Federalist Society, which had an integral part in the process. It's good to have you here. The question is, he says he's brought it down now to 3. We thought it was going to be 2, but it's down to 3, we're told, by the White House. Do you have a sense as to who it most likely will be?
Well, that's really the president's right to name them, but I'll tell you this. The president is extremely engaged. He knows the records and backgrounds of all 3 of these people very well, and they all are very much along the lines of what he said he was going to nominate when he first started this process over the summer. They're committed to the Constitution as it's written. They're fair, they're independent, courageous people with very strong intellects.
And they are in the mode of Justice Scalia. They're originalists, if you will. Absolutely.
You know, under our Constitution, power rests ultimately with the people, and that was at the core of Justice Scalia's legacy. And Lou, as you remember from the president's inauguration speech, that's at the core of his agenda, and there's no doubt that that ideal is at the core of the jurisprudence of these three men who serve on the federal courts of appeals right now.
Let me just ask you a question on these 3 men who are, as you say, outstanding jurists: William Pryor, Neil Gorsuch, Thomas Hardiman. And various people have favorites. I've heard a number of people of late suggest a front runner. For what it's worth, they've been saying William Pryor. I don't know whether they know what they're talking about or not, but they have strong opinions on this. These 3 people look very similar to me. Are they?
They're similar in the sense that they all believe in the Constitution the way the framers meant it to be. They all believe in interpreting the law the way it's written. They're all very independently minded, strong-willed, courageous people, and they all have great backgrounds and legal pedigrees. So in those respects, they all are very similar, and I think they'd all get along very well with the current sitting Supreme Court.
You know, I can't speak obviously for anyone else on this, Leonard, but when I first heard about the list of 21 candidates for justice, I thought, I have to tell you, my first reaction was, I'm glad there are 21 people like that in this country. The number was rather large to me to think of folks who would fit the bill in the mold of Justice Scalia. That's encouraging, I think, to nearly, well, certainly to me and to, I know, lots and lots of other folks. The idea that there are 3 that he will announce next week, how confident are you that any one of these 3 names and would actually be able to get through the, what is it, President Trump calls Schumer the chief clown and his posse?
Well, I think that any of these 3 will ultimately make it through the Senate because they're such strong intellects, they're so principled, and they're so well qualified. And you know, the Democrats have been moderating their stance. After President Trump was first elected, they said they were going to oppose anybody who was nominated. And now this week we've heard Senator Schumer and others say, well, we're just looking for the president to nominate a mainstream candidate who can get some bipartisan support like Roberts and Alito. So I'm not sure we're going to see the kind of extreme obstruction that was first hinted at.
Yeah, I think you're being very kind. I think it was a little more than a hint, and I've covered Senator Schumer for a while, and I'm not I will defer to your optimism, and I appreciate you being with us. Hope you'll come back soon. Leonard,
thank you very much.
Thanks so much.